moving on to this segment of where you at home can ask some questions and we can answer them in the chat or in the chat show now. So we have a great question from Ryan, and Ryan asks, why are there so many crashes in Formula E?
Well, Brian, the answer to your question, predominantly, in my opinion, lies with the tracks, because the tracks they're built on existing street layouts, so they have to work with what they've got. Often they can be quite narrow. What Formula E often does is they put in, especially in circuits we see in Bern and Rome, they put in these quite narrow, tight chicanes, which often, especially on the first lap, if a driver gets it wrong, and causes sort of basically red flag because there's nowhere to go to avoid them, then that is often the reason why we see even cars sort of piling into each other. So I definitely think the circuits are a big part of it, in my opinion. But what do you guys think?
Personally, track layout is a thing, but I think there's just, because it's a street circuit and these are not street circuits that have like FIA mandatory sort of tarmac. They're just proper street circuits with different track layouts, and if you run wide or if you make one tiny mistake, you're in that wall because you're gonna lose grip wheel and you're gonna crash. And I think we've seen that. We think Sam Bird and Stoffel Van Dorn in Mexico. Yes, that those were proper street tracks, not street tracks, sorry, but they still managed to make that mistake and still managed to crash.
Yeah, I think the circuits certainly have a huge part to play in it. And you look at any other form of motorsport, when you drive on street circuits, crashes are more regular. So it would make sense if Formula E is always driving on street circuits, they're going to have more crashes. Another part of it probably is there's less aerodynamic wake in Formula E than most other single-seaters, and aerodynamic wake usually prevents cars from getting up close to each other, and you'll often, as a result, see Formula E cars kind of running nose to tail. And this obviously just means that there's more likely to be contact because the cars can get so much closer to each other. Often because they're kind of able to take a bit of impact, as you see kind of like Max Günther losing one of his wheel covers in Diriyah and kind of still being able to complete the race. They are kind of less reliant than, if you like nick the front of a front wing of a Formula One car, they basically can't go. Whereas in Formula E, they can kind of ride out this small amount of damage more. So that means that they're more willing to get up close and personal with each other, going through tight corners. They're more able to take risks, and all of this just results in more incidents. Another part is just that there's less field spread. So, the speed distance between, say, Neo 333 at the back and the car at the front is smaller than perhaps you'd see in other series. So there are just more cars that can go. There's more variance in terms of qualifying position. They're going to run closer to each other on the track. And then there's more teams running closer to each other on track. And it just all means that incident is more likely.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't mind that obviously they're being crashed, as long as people are safe, but it makes it interesting. And obviously as the field is so tight together and we've got these street tracks and the walls are so close, if you make a mistake, that's it. You're binning it. You don't have, all the drivers say you don't have these runoff areas where you can just, save yourself in a sense. But great question, Ryan. If you have any other questions, please put them in the comments below and we will answer them in the show.